What's he doing?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Township of South Park Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised the Planning Commission will make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors regarding the application being reviewed this evening. This recommendation will then be reviewed by the Board of Supervisors for a final decision. The next Board of Supervisors meeting is scheduled for Monday, December 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in this location. Any resident who wishes to express a concern with tonight's recommendations are encouraged to attend the Board of Supervisors meeting. Additionally, the Township of South Park records all public meetings. Township residents who wish to speak this evening, please sign in at the podium and please speak your name and address for the public record. Roll call. Russ Bracker, here. Rob Devine.
Here.
Mark DePretis.
Here.
John Papanchak.
Here.
Bill Madigar.
Here.
Patrick Sable. Here. James Wyckoff, absent. Dan Dizerov, Township Engineer.
Here.
Carolyn Yeagle, Planning Consultant.
Here.
Thomas Bonity, Code Enforcement Officer.
Here.
Irv Furman, Solicitor.
Here.
Prior to this meeting, we did have an executive session in which legal matters and legal advice were discussed. We need a motion to approve the minutes of the September 24th, 2025 regular Planning Commission meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Planning Commission meeting. We have one item on our agenda tonight that is the Majestic Woods development, also known as Sleepy Hollow. For those that have not attended a Planning Commission meeting or those that have forgotten, we follow a basic process where the developer will present the status of the plan. We will then call upon the planning consultant, our township engineer, code enforcement officer, to speak with any comments, questions that they may have. We will then ask the board if they have any questions or comments, and at that point we will open it up for the public for questions and comments from everyone. I do ask that as we go through this evening, that we are respectful, listen to our presentations, whoever might be speaking. If there's side conversations, I ask you to please refrain from that, just because if you are having a side conversation, other people around you may not be able to hear what is being discussed. So with that in mind, do we have someone here from the developer to present? Have you signed in and?
Somebody wanted to take this to Tom, you?
Excuse me. I want to point out that there are a number of people waiting in the lobby and they can't quite hear. Is there any way we can turn the sound up or use your microphones more effectively?
The microphones have been turned off as far as they can go.
Okay.
I would suggest that everybody speak directly into the microphones when they're talking,
Okay.
so everybody can hear.
Fair enough. Okay, so can you please state your name and
Good evening. My name is Mike Wetzel. I'm with the firm Victor Wetzel Associates. I'm here tonight representing Majestic Woods LP, and we're here tonight for the final subdivision plans for Majestic Woods.
can you tell us a little bit, obviously we want to know about the plan, where the development stands today, what the plans are, but also maybe you could summarize very quickly what has been happening for the last year since preliminary approval was granted. Just a summary, because I know there's a lot.
Sure, yes. As we'll show here tonight, Majestic Woods is still a 108 single-family development with 2 lots located in the R1 zoning district and 106 located in the R2 zoning district. The supervisors approved the preliminary plan back in May 2004. Since that time, we've been kind of working through discussions with Conservation District, working with our engineers in regard to final plans, and discussions in regard to submittals that we've done with South Park. We've had about 4 or 5 staff meetings in regard to our plan review. This is a very detailed plan in regard to the engineering detail that's here. The plan set itself is 134 pages overall. Stormwater management reports are hundreds of pages long, so there's a lot of detail that had to go into the planning. And with something that, I'll say, complicated, it takes time to review all the documents to make sure that we get it down to only a few general third-party permit items or some just house cleaning items that are there. We've constantly been working with the township staff in regard to our plan submittals. So with that, we'd like to be able to give our presentation of the Majestic Woods, 108 total single-family units. This is a use by right, it is not a PRD. So we need to follow the zoning districts of the R1 zoning district as well as the R2 zoning district.
Is everyone able to hear in the back?
Can you hear? Yes.
Okay.
So, what we have here is the township zoning map located here. We have Stoltz Road located right through here, Sleepy Hollow Road right along through here, and our property area is located along here in red. As I mentioned, we're in 2 zoning districts. This is the R2 zoning area north of Sleepy Hollow Road. The R1 is south of Sleepy Hollow Road. The green area that surrounds the site is South Park, that's maintained by the county within the site. We also have some of the existing single-family areas off to the west, as well as single families off to the south area of the property. As we look at the aerial photo, we'll find that we'll do a combination of our presentation of engineering drawings as well as aerials. Some of the engineering drawings are very technical in nature, so they become very difficult to read as a presentation, so we'll always work with some aerial photos so it makes it easier to be able to see what's happening in our discussion. But once again, this aerial photo of the neighborhood, our property area is located here in yellow. It's about 63 acres in size. Once again, we have Sleepy Hollow Road right along and through here. The R2 zoning area through here, the R1 zoning down through this section. The site is mostly wooded throughout the site in regard to its size and surrounding, as I said, some of the neighboring single family off to the west, single families down to the south, and then we have the tennis club located in through here, and then single family located just south and west of the site. We do have one office building that has access onto Sleepy Hollow Road. When we look at the topographic map in regard to the site, really the low point of the site is Sleepy Hollow Road along and through here. It rises in elevation where the high point is up against South Park through here, and then also it rises in elevation as it goes up to the Old Post Road. We do have a drainage way that occurs right along and through here, a little drainage way along through this area, and the 2 color codes that you see here, the white is slopes between 0 and 25%, and then the red is more slopes greater than 25%. So we really have the majority of our site in slopes less than 20% overall. This is the final subdivision plan, almost identical in regard to the preliminary plan that was approved back in May of 2024. We have the road improvements that we'll go over later on for Sleepy Hollow Road, our access point that'll lead up, drop off to a loop road, cul-de-sac located along through this section, and another road through this portion of the site. And once again, we have then detention facilities located here, the one located in this section. In the R1, we have 2 estate lots. We'll have 1 driveway that will come up to serve both these lots through here. The green area represents open space within the plan. There's about 12.3 acres of open space. Under any use by right subdivision, open space is not a requirement within the plan. We could very easily just extend these lot lines and include those. But through the slope map that we showed, we have existing trees and some of the steeper slopes that occur over and through here and over in this section. So we wanted to protect those and leave those in open space. we really be looking at doing this project in 4 phases as part of the development. As part of our presentation goes, we'll show as our phase 1 is the improvements along Sleepy Hollow Road, this area and through here for phase 1, and the 2 estate lots for a total of 28 lots, as well as the open space within the plan. We'll also, within this particular phase, do all of the site grading for the whole entire project through this section. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is the continuation of the road up to include the lots off to the left, and then the cul-de-sac street, and then the additional open space located in these 2 portions of the site. Phase 3 is 47 lots here at the Loop Road at the top of the site. And phase 4 is 5 lots right along Sleepy Hollow Road. So really a 4-phase development within the plan. Once again, the lot layouts and road layouts are identical to the approved preliminary plans from 2024. Once again, we have 2 zoning districts. This is the R2 zoning district requirements throughout here. All, as we went through our preliminary plan, all Majestic Woods meets all the zoning requirements by use by right within the project, so they comply with all the zoning requirements of the R2. We are also not asking for any modifications or variances with this plan. So we're meeting all the zoning requirements for the R2. And then these are the R1 zoning requirements. We also meet all of those requirements. We comply to all the zoning regulations for the R1 for the 2 estate lots. And once again, for the R1, we're not asking for any modifications or variances within the plan. Now, really, a lot of the presentation is to talk about the Sleepy Hollow Road improvements exhibits that we have through here. It's really, once again, as I mentioned, Majestic Woods plan is identical to what you saw a year and a half ago, but a lot of the engineering also work went into the Sleepy Hollow Road exhibits. This is our survey of the final subdivision for the entire property. Once again, our 63 acres over along and through here. This is done by our surveyors, urban terrain. And really what it does is it highlights Sleepy Hollow Road. All the survey went all the way out to Stoltz Road. We have a section right through here is a 41.5-foot wide right-of-way within the Sleepy Hollow Road. And then at that point, all of Sleepy Hollow Road has a 33-foot right-of-way within the plan. We look at that detail a little bit closer. You can see the little jog that takes place right along and through here where we have the 41.5 feet and everything's 33 as we continue on within the plan. We have to be able to work, any of these improvements that we're showing in our plans have to work within these 2 right-of-way locations. We can't work outside of those areas without any easements or permission from the property owners. So all of our improvements are shown within the road right-of-way. When we do get to our property and through here, we expand the 33-foot right-of-way to a 50-foot right-of-way overall. And then the section where we have half of the road and through here, we expanded half the distance to get from the road center line 25 feet onto our particular property within the plan. So this is how one of the first scenarios with our survey in regard to detail. Once again, when we use the aerial, it does make it a lot easier when we look at the detail of Sleepy Hollow Road and through here. At this point, right along in the intersection, this is the previously paved, all the way to this point through here. And then this section through here becomes more of a gravel and broken asphalt area all the way down Sleepy Hollow Road. You can see once again the right-of-way difference between the 41.5 feet and the 33 through this section. And we do have the utility pole that's located at the intersection. There it is. At the intersection with Stoltz Road. There's been a lot of talk in regard to the in the preliminary plan about that pole. With our new plan layout, and you'll see this a little bit later, we're going to relocate that pole within our development to give it a little bit better entry, turning radiuses, as well as allowing the road to go over the existing culvert. So when we get into what we have the detailed construction plans through here, this is that same area of Sleepy Hollow Road that goes through and has all of the engineering details within the plan. Within this engineering plan, we do show a wall location right along and through here on the high side of Sleepy Hollow Road. This wall height goes anywhere between about 6 inches to a little over 3 feet. We've made some revisions to lower the road. All the wall improvements will be done within the road right away in itself, not on any of the property owner's property, and it'll be a poured-in-place concrete wall. And we'll go over that in a little bit more detail. Once again, we have the culvert right along through here. I have problems with my, right through here. The culvert will not change in regard to its design. It will remain as it is, because we changed the alignment of the road over through this section. And because we're coming at more of a 90-degree section, right where the utility pole is, right where my cursor is, we'll have to relocate that utility pole. This is the road profile that takes place along Sleepy Hollow Road. So this is the engineering detail. This is also the engineering detail in regard to the pavement improvements that take place on Sleepy Hollow Road. From Schultz Road to this point here, this is where the existing paving area ends. That road area is about anywhere between 20 to 21 feet wide. We'll need to widen that road to a 24-foot cartway and add a 2-inch wearing course on top. Beyond this point and through here to the property line, we'll build a full township road that'll be 24 feet wide, but no curves associated with it. So it'll be really full paving depth from base of stone all the way to the top wearing course by following your standard detail. And then when it's in our development plan in itself, it'll be a 24-foot cartway plus 18-foot curbs within the plan. So that's really the engineering detail of the plan. And we also show where that wall is located within the property and the utility pole is located right there. Once again, taking a look at it from the aerial standpoint, this is the area where it'll be widened it by 2 to 3 feet and just putting a 2-inch wearing course on top. This will be, and there'll be no curbs associated with this. This area will be the 24-foot full depth paving through the section, and anything beyond this line will be 24 feet plus the curbs through that section. You can see right there, that's the utility pole that will be relocated. And just as clarity, this will be the typical pavement section where we provide full depth paving but without curbs. This will be all the roads within the development through here, 24 feet wide, 18-inch curves, plus their standard profile in regard to building materials on both of them. Now, as I mentioned, we have a proposed wall within the plan. This is where we have a wall located right along and through here. This will be a poured-in-place concrete wall. It'll be about 298 feet, and it'll be anywhere between 6 inches to about 3 feet in height along that section. All of this work, as I mentioned, will be done in the road right-of-way, and no improvements located outside the road right-of-way. We have the culvert that's going to remain, and then the relocated pole, utility pole right along through here. So the area where we're looking at the wall, I'm standing at the office building area, looking over towards the Gandelia property and their driveway along through this section. This is really where the wall is going to start at this point and work its way along the road frontage. We'll show you another image a little bit later in regard to how that wall will look. Within our construction plans, we have cross-section details throughout the plan. So at each driveway location, we have a cross-section of the road through this section. This happens to be near the front of, the prop, or near, the intersection of Schultz and Sleepy Hollow. And with that, we'll be meeting the grade at the existing driveway. This is the 41.5-foot right-of-way through here. The area highlighted in yellow is the existing paving width, and this is where we are widening the road along through here and meeting the grade at that driveway. As we go further up, at one of the other property owners through here, this is the existing paving area through here, 41.5-foot right-of-way area. This road right-of-way through here is located about 12.5 feet beyond the actual existing paving, so it really kind of goes up into the hillside quite a bit with this area. So we'll have our 24-foot cartway, our grading transition through here, the existing driveway, and be able to meet grade at that location. This is at station 400, just beyond the driveway location is where we start to have a beginning of the retaining wall. It's about 9 inches at this location. Here's where the existing driveway is located, so we're not impacting any of the grading through here. Once again, the existing paving is located right here in the yellow, and we have from our edge of the existing paving area to the right-of-way area of about 8 feet the work in. We go up to station 500. Our wall increases the height a little bit over 3 feet, 3.2 feet. We have our 24-foot cartway located in through here. We're keeping all the grading, once again, the existing right-of-way line through here. At the top of the wall, we will have some 2-to-1 grading slopes to adjust, but once again, that grading will meet at the right-of-way line, so there's no improvements. And really, once again, from the edge of the existing paving to the right-of-way line is about 8.7 feet away. We get up to station 600. Our wall is about 2.3 feet in height, located along through here. Once again, the required paving. This area, we're about 9.5 feet from the existing edge of the existing paving to the right-of-way, so plenty of room to work to install this wall at this location. And then really, kind of when we get outside the wall area, no more wall located outside station 700. We're all meeting grade at this point where the road shifted over, once again, 24 feet through this section, working with the existing slope over the slope that's there today. And lastly, when you get into our property itself, this is a 50-foot road right-of-way, our 24-foot cartway, our 18-inch curbs, and once again, full paving requirements within that area. So it shows you how we're fitting in the road improvements along Sleepy Hollow Road with this widening. So when we get back now to that same photo through this section, we have the driveway right along through here. We'll be starting that small little wall, 6 to 9 inches through here. It'll gain an elevation up to about 3 feet. It's kind of a uniform 3 to 3.2 feet along this section through here, tucked into the hillside. There'll be no impacts to the existing driveway. With the wall and the grading, there'll be some of the trees removed within the road right away in itself. And once again, this will be a board in place concrete wall, height anywhere between 6 inches and about 3.2 feet. And once again, all work done within the road right away. We get a little bit closer to this section, the separation of the two driveways. We have some existing rock. This will be the edge of the new cartway right about through here, where the right of way further back through this section. So we'll be removing some of the rock, adjusting some of the paving in through here, that's still providing the necessary grading transitions for each existing driveway. And then that's where the wall starts to get built along this portion of the road. And lastly, as you go down Sleepy Hollow Road, we'll have this We'll have the cartway along through here. This will be the edge of the cartway through this portion. This will be all rebuilt, 24-foot wide road, no curbs, and then our wall located right along this portion of the right-of-way location. Really, when we get into now the final subdivision, as part of the requirements, we had to show that how houses would be shown within the properties. We have kind of a typical building plan, driveway plan within the site, and how houses would fit on each one. This one doesn't get into the detail of all the easements, but we supplied a drawing that said that between all of the rear stormwater easements and sanitary easements, a house can be built on each one of these lots through here. We show that how it will be the neighborhood within the plan. The site grading will have existing trees located through here, located along through here, along the perimeter, over along this portion of the site. So really, once again, we're here to the final subdivision plans for Majestic Woods. It's consistent with the approved preliminary plan from May of 2024. Glad to answer any questions that the board might have after staff has their comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nagel, as our planning consultant, do you have any comments or questions you would like to ask or share?
Thank you. We've had the opportunity to review the application and the series of drawings and going through a number of the questions that we've had over the time between when the application was made in July and today and meeting. All of the zoning ordinance criteria for R1 and R2 the plan meets those for the respective sides of the road, in which the 2 lots in R1 are identified and then the 106 lots in R2 are identified. So in terms of, this is a permitted use by right, single family detached dwellings. And then the lot criteria, the other kinds of dimensional criteria associated with what would happen on a lot have all been illustrated and identified in the plan package and meet the zoning ordinance requirements. We did also consider that a number of things that will happen ultimately if this plan is moving forward that would need any applicant would need to do in following the other portions of the ordinance, such as yard projections, accessory structures, signs, screening and landscaping, and sort of the frontage components. So that's an example of other sections of the ordinance that will apply, and based upon the plans presented, the zoning is something that we can comment that it's carrying forward the identical number of lots that were shown within the approved preliminary package, and then also almost in mirror form are the same location of the lots that were approved as part of the preliminary package. So we would be in the position to say, as it meets the township's adopted zoning ordinance, that it would be something for this to move forward to the next step to approval.
Thank you. Mr. DeZera, as township engineer, do you have any comments or questions you would like to share?
Sure. As a part of the review for final subdivision and land development approval for a project of this size and detail, there's...
Excuse me, Mr. Douglas, can everybody hear in the back?
No, can you please use the microphone?
It's not American. Will you please start over?
Sure. This, as I was saying, for a project of this size and scale, in terms of final approval, there has been a large submission of documents that I've outlined in my letter. Those documents include land development plans, about 75 sheets of land development plans, 15 erosion and sedimentation control plans, 36 pages of post-construction stormwater management plans, a 655-page stormwater management report, 166-page geotechnical report, and significant back and forth related to those documents. I've reviewed this plan several times since August, provided the developer with comments. They've come back and forth with comments or answered my comments and questions. They've revised the plans. So I just give that as a background to the planning commission, that this isn't, this is an iterative process where something this complex, there's always comments, there's always things that need addressed when you do something with this detail. So as we stand before you here tonight, we've reviewed all these documents. We've gotten the plans as Mr. Wetzel went over. We paid particular attention to the work that had to occur along Sleepy Hollow Road and the details related to that. There was some iterations of the design that they came up with. They finally come up with something that's acceptable, that meets the conditions that were dictated by the preliminary approval. So I'm satisfied with that. The stormwater management plan, as in its final form, meets the township requirements for stormwater management. They've provided a final geotechnical report that addresses the issue with some of the coal lines that are located in the area and the grouting that will be required related to that. So with that all being said, in my mind, the plan meets the technical requirements of the South Park subdivision and land development ordinance, and it's here tonight for your consideration of that. And we can answer any questions, but in particular, there's third-party permits that are technically